I was just down, last month, I was down in Florida, with the motorhome and I took it to a place in Jupiter, Florida. It's actually in Jupiter Farms. And it's beautiful. It's really, and it's reasonable, you know? Well, it was reasonable. It,
Yeah.
it can.
The whole state is on borrowed time.
Yeah. God, I used to think that California.
Call to order. This regular meeting of the VTMUA 2024 will now convene. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this regular meeting was provided to the public and the press on December 31st, 2023, by delivering to the press such notice and posting same at the municipal building and filed with the office of the MUA, as well as posted on the website. Please rise for salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a roll call.
Yes,
Some of
sir.
the professionals, please.
Paul Carney,
Present.
Kristen Wheaton. Present. Dave McDermott,
Present.
Ed DeYoung,
Present.
Pat Rizzuto,
Present.
Mark Bauer.
Present.
For professionals, we have Rich Bunner, the attorney, Steve Banowski, the engineer, Janelle Bright, the admin CFO, and myself, Jacqueline McCabe, the recording secretary.
Thank you. Would someone like to make a motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items only?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
As of now, I have no one.
No one from the public stepping up? Someone like to make a motion to close this portion to the public for agenda items only?
I'll make, by Pat.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 2420, approval of the bills. Get a motion to approve. Well, does anybody have any questions on the bills? Everybody get a chance to look at them. Okay. Someone like to make a motion to approve 2420, approval of the bill?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, 1 second. Okay. We have Paul Carney,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton,
Yes.
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Ed DeYoung,
Yes.
Pat Rizzuto.
Yes.
Approval of the minutes from August 15th, 2024. Get a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Get a second?
Second it.
Okay, for this meeting, Pat Rizzuto, you were not in attendance. Paul Carney,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton,
Yes.
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Ed DeYoung,
Yes.
Pat Rizzuto.
Stay.
Thank you. Mark Bauer.
Yes.
Okay, we have three resolutions. 2421, a resolution to join the fund renewed statewide insurance fund. 2422, the resolution appointing fund commissioner. 2423, the resolution appointing risk management consultant 2024 fund year. Can we block these and do them all at once?
So we just need a motion to block
Block it.
them, and then we'll do the motion to approve.
Somebody make a motion to block them together?
I'll make a motion to block all three resolutions, 2421, 2422, and 2423 together as a block.
Can I get a second on that?
Second.
Favor? Oh, that's a roll call, right? Would that be in favor or roll call?
No, that's real cool.
Well, is this?
Roll call.
Roll call. Okay, so we have Paul Carney, Kristen Wheaton,
Yes.
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Ed DeYoung,
Yes.
Pat Rizzuto.
Yes.
Okay, and then we just need to vote on them.
Okay, get a motion to approve the resolutions as a block.
I'll make a motion to approve resolutions 24-21, 24-22, and 24-23 together.
That was Pat, right?
Yes.
Okay. Paul Carney,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton,
Can I have a question first?
Oh, sure.
It's on the consultant fees not to exceed 135,000. That's something we do every year as part of this thing. I mean,
So we don't pay them separately.
so we're not obligated to
Consulting-
135.
Consulting, I just want to see that.
here I have that. Works out.
Thank you. Where's the 335?
It's 3 or 5.
They sent us this paperwork.
I would have missed.
Man, I read it. I'm not exactly sure which one, $35,000.
You know what page it's on?
Says the consultant shall be paid by the fund on behalf of the member, a fee of compensation for services rendered. Said fee and appointment of the member, $135,000, excluding any fees, PLIGA, I don't know what that is, and loss ratio apportionment.
Right here.
Wondering how we come up with that number and
So we do not, okay, we do not come up with that number. The the statewide insurance fund comes up with that number and they pay the consultant fees.
oh, okay.
So we don't pay that separately. Otherwise we would have had to appoint them as our, like a professional service.
Appointed the person to,
Correct. We're appointed, yes, the risk.
okay, thank you very much.
No problem. So we had Paul Carney, Kristen Eaton, Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Ed DeYoung,
Yes,
and Pat Rizzuto.
Yes. Brings us to the administrator update.
Sure. Steve and I might be like overlapping what our reports are, but pump station 2 is officially up and running, which is amazing. The demolition of pump station 2 is pretty much complete. There's a couple of checklist items that they have to finalize for Coppola, but excited that we finally have pump station 2 pretty much done. So that's
Yeah.
woohoo. The next step, once we deem that complete and iBank deems it complete, then the township basically moves it to permanent financing, and then we'll move everything over financially to Mountain Creek and move forward with them providing the annual payment on that debt service. So the sewer service area mapping, we did send everything to the county. Actually thought it was going to be on for October, but it's not. So we're hoping it was on for November. We just got an email today. I got it actually from John Drake at SCUMA. They've responded back and with a few comments, which I believe we did address. Steve can speak to that. So I'm not really sure if it needs to be resubmitted back to SCUMA, but it's supposed to go before the county PAC committee. We're obviously still in talks with SCUMA actively with regards to a transfer station. That's kind of a little bit on the back burner. We've been focusing more on the development fees. Sorry, not the development fee. The current connection fee right now, 60% goes back to the township for, not township, the MUA specifically for rate stabilization funds. I've had some conversations with regards to regulations at the DCA level, and there's nothing that really prevents SCUMA and the MUA and the township from coming to an agreement that maybe not that whole percentage goes to just straight rate stabilization funds. It could also go towards, something like a development fund that might help to spur development for connection to the sewer system in the township. Capital items, so Pump Station 3, we finally, after a few years, have moved forward on fixing up Pump Station 3, making repairs that need to be done there. We did include a picture in your packet on what it looked like after they removed the siding on it. So we're going to be replacing the siding, the roof, any interior, any boards that need to be replaced, obviously, will be replaced. So everything will be good and ready for the winter so that we don't have random animals in there when you go in there in the middle of January. Also, we have fencing being installed, a new fence opening basically being installed, a new gate at Pump Station 2, where the existing entry is. It's not really convenient for certain deliveries. We should still have that entry and exit, but we were just putting in another gate, and they're coming on November 5th. Nothing really to update about the new developments in town. If anyone's driven by on Theta Drive and Omega, obviously you can see the 55-unit building is already, I believe, at the 3rd floor, which is incredible. They're putting that thing up really quickly. We've had some discussions with that developer for maybe some other areas in town that they were thinking about. We're still actively discussing with the individuals who own a majority stake of the business that owns a majority of the properties at Legends. I don't really want to say that he's like the property owner because he just owns a majority of the properties that are there. And we're moving forward, again, still with conversations with the Ryan Homes project, which is at the golf course property owned by HMGG. So those are all still in the works. It's just things have taken longer than I anticipated. And that's it.
Okay.
Howie is not here tonight, for some family stuff, but there's nothing really going on other than, I mean, nothing, out of the ordinary, I should say. Other than pump station 3 getting addressed, so.
Have transfer station.
Mhm.
What has anything new on SCUMA's end on that other than?
No, there needs to be some more discussion, with their engineers, their administrator and our engineers and Wind River to kind of come to some sort of agreement. Because at this point, there's 2 items, that would be over the parameters that SCUMA currently accepts. Well, in our discussions, we were hoping that there could be some sort of fee schedule that went along with that, which is kind of typical in this field,
What are
right? If somebody's, Steve, do you remember what the 2 items were? I wish I had it in front of me. Any, yes,
Give me a second, I could look it up off the top of my head. I don't recall, but I can.
I don't remember. There's 2 of them. I can forward it to you. I have it in email. But based on the typical flow that other facilities send from Wind River, there's 2 items that are above what SCUMA has for regulations. But it's typical as Wind River has explained, they've had similar situations. And basically what happens is there's a fee schedule, provided that it can be treated at SCUMA, which I would hope that it could be.
So it's parameters of what would.
Yes, acceptable.
In whatever they're discharging.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And there's certain things that you can do too, to adjust some of them, based on the flow that we have from the rest of the township that would flow through there. The dilution of certain things might affect that. So, we've had those discussions. We just need to have more of them with that. The latest discussions we've had with them were more about, addressing connection fees. Because our discussion with developers, that's a huge hurdle. Over $8,000 per EDU is massive when you have a very large development.
Boy.
Can you send me those items too?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send it to the whole board,
Thank you.
that email.
Well, thank you. Which brings us to engineer's report and Steve.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, so I don't know if you need any help with that, just let me know, but I have
Okay.
not quite as handy as I would like it to be right now. So with regards to pump station 2, as Donnell already said, the work is, I would consider it probably 99.9 something complete. There's a few little odds and ends that need to be, punch list is what it's referred to. A few little odds and ends that need to be addressed, but really minor stuff. And then we will be going through some closeout activities, both with Coppola and iBank. So hopefully that happens in the next few months. But it took a little while, but in my opinion, everything went pretty good with pump station 2. With the township and the contractor and everyone involved. So it took a little while, but I think it went pretty well. Sewer service area, Donnell hit on that, where the amendment is with Sussex County Planning Department right now. And we're getting on the agenda for one of their meetings, hopefully very soon. And the only other thing is we did do a review of a change in use at 9 Church Street. It just, that change in use did not result in any increases in flow. So there was no change to the EDU. So that's all I have.
Have any questions for Steve? All right, thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
Would someone like to make a motion to open the meeting to the public for items not on the agenda? Move it. Second,
I'll second it.
Who's the first?
all in favor?
Aye.
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 I think it was Ed.
Ed, okay. I do not have anyone wishing to speak.
See no one stepping up to speak. Would someone like to make a motion to close the meeting to the public for items not on the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
You get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioners' comments. Start down on the end with Mr. Rizzuto.
No comment.
No comments? Ed?
No comment, Paul.
No comment.
Don?
No comment this evening.
No, not this year. Not this night. Yeah, right.
Is that a promise till December 31st?
Oh, man.
Only comments I have is I'm glad pump station 2's complete and online and running. I want to thank this board and prior members of the board, Steve Benoski and Dewberry and Jack and Donnell. Because it was a long time coming and it's finally done. It's like Christmas lights turned on or something. And you know, any negotiations that you could conjure up with SCUMA that would, you know, make those connection fees lower, that's key. That's a big one. So good luck with that. And just once more of a question with the sewer service area. It's in the county's hands right now, Steve, you said?
Yeah, so basically, you know, aside from the, you know, that mapping was all hashed out, let's say 6 months ago now. And then we prepare a formal amendment, which is a report essentially, documenting all the changes, and a big portion of it is computing proposed flow rate should all the development in the sewer service area occur. You know, you compare that to the allocation and you make some you come to some conclusions there. And then you get into the environmental restrictions essentially a little bit that led to the map ending up the way it is. And basically that's kind of a like everything here, it's some kind of a multi-step process. The first process is that gets approved by Sussex County Planning, right? And then Sussex County Planning submits it to the state DEP, the same group who approved the mapping, for them to also authorize it. Hopefully, you know, everything's a rubber stamp at that point, but that's the process.
All right,
In a big circle.
thank you. And that's all I got. So if anybody can make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.